This video is brought to you by Manscaped. More on them at the end of the video.
Shot. This is the easiest I've ever had to answer.
I'm going to say beer. I can't even begin to describe.
I'm actually going to go crazy. I'm going to buy everybody around on this one. Well, welcome back, everybody, to Big Apple Hockey Bar Talk, where we are gauging our confidence on NHL topics based on our choice of drink. Are you so excited? You're going to buy everybody rounds? You're really not feeling good. You really need a shot. Or, so-so. I'll take a beer on this one. Go ahead, play along in the comments. Once again, everybody, the trucker hats are available. You could put it down in the link below. That'll lead you right there. Free agent. And Anthony, speaking about free agents and somebody that we've talked about this summer, Evan Rodrigues is going to have a career best year.
Beer. What was he coming? He's coming off of like a 45-point year last year.
Yeah, I'll flash those numbers for you right now. I wanted to get the beer first.
He's a good player. He waited a long time. Obviously, he didn't sign to yesterday, 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he landed on the defending Stanley Cup champions, who were an offensive juggernaut. So he's going to have every shot he can of having a career year. He's going to be surrounded by talent. And now, granted, he's not going to play like on the top power play unit or whatnot, but he's still going to get opportunities to produce in a fairly decent sized role. So it's very, very possible. The Avalanche, like I said, they score in bunches. They're one of the most explosive teams in the league. So I think he put himself in a good position to get a career high and then, earn a really big, or not a really big, but earn a bigger contract the next go around.
I really like this signing for Colorado, and it really gives you Alex Newhook insurance, because I think that's who they want to take the second line center job. They want Alex Newhook to jump up there. And what that does is then Rodrigues is a bottom six center that's in there. And that's something where I saw, and I was looking at Rangers Twitter before we went on, there were guys saying, Rodrigues, he could have been a good top six forward for the Rangers. The Rangers don't need Evan Rodrigues to be a top six forward. Rangers would need him at the bottom if they did that. And Evan Rodrigues is a good bottom six center. I think he's starting to find that niche. He was hot for about 2 months for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and then was just dry as the Sahara for February and March of last year, or might have been he got like a couple goals in April, but going into and he had a really good series against the Rangers. I think he had 2 or 3 goals, but it's including a goal in Game 7 that gave him the lead. But it's just as far as Rodrigues goes, he'll fit in great with the Avalanche because they're not expecting him to go carry the team. I think he's making that team. Because it's a PTO, right? That he's on. I forgot, or is it a 1-year deal?
Who?
Rodrigues.
No, he signed a contract.
Okay, so it's a 1-year deal. Yeah, he's definitely making that team. That's how you know, because he signed a contract. All right, something I should have looked up beforehand. Speaking about teams that also just had like a couple of extensions this week, Rob Thomas and Jordan Kyrou have 8-year, $8.125 million deals per starting next season. Anthony, the St. Louis Blues will have a cap crunch coming next year. And this is pertinent information for you first. This is what they got.
Yep. I'm actually I might surprise you. I'm gonna say shot.
Okay. Because
Vladimir Tarasenko is likely going to leave as an unrestricted free agent, and that's what $7.5 million coming off the books.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think obviously they'll still have to sign RRR, but at that point I think that they'll be able to manage that just by moving a body or so. So, but Tarasenko coming off the books and not retaining him, then I don't think it'll be an issue for them.
You know what? I'm going to join you. I was going to start it with a beer. I'm going to go right the shot as well. There we go. Covering up your face again. But, Doug Armstrong's already planning for next year. He's already got these guys signed. You got him next year. I did the St. Louis Blues season wrap up on the Big Apple Hockey Podcast blog. And it's just those two guys are on the rise in Kyrou and Thomas. Sign them long term and get some discounts right now. They're looking great.
Doesn't that seem to be the trend right now with Thomas, Kyrou, Stutzla? You pay a guy a lot, but you're banking on for them to really keep growing, and I think that's what the Blues here did with Thomas and Kyrou and matching deals. I mean, and listen, these guys are their future. Like I said, Tarasenko's out the door. Even if they keep Ryan O'Reilly, he's getting older. Perron left, obviously. So, I mean, these are the guys that are going to be propelling them for the next couple of years. So they did the right thing to get them locked up, and hopefully they continue to grow as a hockey player.
And I gotta say that philosophy is pretty much in a lot of places around the NHL right now, except Dallas. They're not, because there seems to be this pretty good player they're not paying just yet over there. But we'll wait on that one. Hopefully he'll sign sometime soon. Anthony, by the way, speaking about another good player, really good young player, I also got to ask you this question first. Who was one of your favorite players of the late 90s?
In the late 90s, Sergei Fedorov. I loved Sergei Fedorov. Obviously, Pavel Bure.
I make no bones about it. I am a huge Paul Kariya fan. I marveled at him after his first season in the NHL. He was amazing. But he was also the first ever Asian to be named full-time captain of a hockey team. So Nick Suzuki is the right choice for captain in Montreal.
I mean, I thought that maybe Brendan Gallagher could have been a fit to wear the C, but I mean, let's face it, Suzuki's more their future. He's younger. You could argue that he's their best player. I mean, ahead of Cole Caulfield. The guy, I already heard this summer he took classes to get better at French, because that's a big thing there. If you're the captain of the Montreal Canadiens, you need to be able to understand French and speak a little bit of it. So, again, maybe Gallagher I thought could have been, but I'm at the same time, I don't think Suzuki was a bad choice at all. Not to say that I'm a big believer in, just because it's your best player doesn't mean he should be the captain. I think that's a fact, and most people agree. But again, he is their best player. He does seem like a leave it all out on the ice type of guy. He does hustle. He plays with a lot of intensity at times. So yeah, I mean, he's a pretty good choice. Definitely, I'm not going to kill him for it.
All right, so it was beer on that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my apologies. I did it to you again. That's twice in one thing. You know what? I'm buying everybody around on this. I actually looked at all the quotes that were coming down from Jeff Gorton to his other teammates, him talking to Shea Weber and immediately trying to gauge what he has to do. Yes, improving in your French really does help, especially in Montreal. But you know what, Anthony? They're talking about the maturity of this kid, and he's coming into his own. And it's fitting, by the way, that he's named the captain, since he was traded for Montreal's one of their previous other captains in Max Pacioretty. So, I mean, you got to love what you're seeing out of Nick Suzuki so far. Granted, I know the numbers aren't as great. That minus 49 sticks out like a sore thumb, but there's so many great things about him. And also, I mean, any chance I get to mention Paul Kariya is Philk is still alive, everybody. He works during the week. He works a 9 to 5. We are going to have Philk back on. Don't worry about that. He's gone nowhere. So, all right. But I mean, every time I get to ever mention Paul Kariya, I'm going to do it as well. But I mean, I love what I'm reading out of Nick Suzuki and what Marty St. Louis' thoughts on him were. And hey, Anthony, there's all this talk about Patrick Kane being traded at the end of the season, or where's Patrick Kane going to go? Jonathan Toews is a more attractive trade deadline piece than Patrick Kane.
Shot.
Okay.
I mean, Patrick Kane is a much better player than Toews. I mean, 5 years ago, I'm still saying Kane, but maybe it's not so definitive. But Kane is a better player than Toews. I mean, yeah, Toews has more intangibles, and he's the leader, and captain serious. I get all that, but Kane is a difference maker, a needle mover. Can really propel whatever team requires him to win a Stanley Cup. So. I think they both will be traded at the deadline. I think that's almost a fact. But again, I think Kane is the more attractive piece than Jonathan Toews is. So I will go with Shot.
I'm going to go to beer, and here's the reason why I'm actually going to upgrade from yours. I'm not going to go too crazy. I think the fact that he's got such a huge price tag and that he's kind of had his health wane a little bit. He's kind of been a shell of what he used to be, offensively speaking. But I don't think you're going to have to give up the farm like you're going to have to for Patrick Kane, who's still arguably a really productive player. The other thing is, and that intangible that we were talking about, yes, the captain serious and all that other stuff. But Anthony, that is going to really impact a lot of trade deadline maneuvering. Because if you can get a Jonathan Toews to be a third-line center, talking about Selke Trophy winner, is he as good as what he was in 2013? Obviously not. But I do think you could give up less, get Toews. Because I'm trying to figure out where Patrick Kane goes. I mean, he's got a full no trade clause, so he's got a okay where he's going. I mean, he probably will. That's a different story. But we'll get to that, and we'll get to that a little bit later in the comments, but that's one of my thoughts. And Anthony, the last one, and I've kind of alluded to this a lot, but John Tortorella will cost the Flyers their chance at Connor Bedard.
I'm gonna say Shot. I think even if Tortorella tries to tighten that team up, and he's a good coach, I still think they're going to be really bad. I don't think he's going to prevent them from getting Connor Bedard. But then again, I mean, I personally don't really think it matters too much. I think the Coyotes or the Blackhawks are going to be worse than them. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to cost them Connor Bedard.
I'm going to buy everybody around on this because I think I just think Tortorella is too good of a coach. Look at that winning percentage. He's well over 500. I forgot who's got more wins. I wanted to look it up right now. It's either him or La Violette that have the most amount of wins for an American-born coach. I think it is actually Peter Laviolette. So I have to emphasize that because everybody hates it when I regionalize and blur through his name. But anyway, but John Tortorella he's going to tighten things up, and he's probably going to knock him out of the top 5, and they're not going to win the lottery and go all the way up to number 1. So I think that could happen. I don't have that much faith in Philadelphia, Anthony, but this guy, why'd you bring him in if not to win games? So that's just my personal thought about that. Well, that is the end of Big Apple Hockey Bar Talk for today. And again, the hats are available. Sean, you were asking about it last week. Click in the link below and then go pick up the hat. I'll ship it out to you. So, I mean, I love this thing. I think it looks great. I wore it on Bethpage Black last week, which, by the way, don't exactly wear a brand new hat out when you're going to walk 5 miles on a golf course and up and down and all over the place. It's not the best thing. Probably wearing it. I'm going to, hey, by the way, Anthony, I'm going to go to the Mets game tonight. First time all year.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's, I can't believe it took me till September to go see a Mets game. Usually I'm at least seeing a one away game a year, but
are you going to wait that long to see a Ranger game?
Oh no, I'm hoping to see a preseason game. I think the Devils, I was actually, by the way, I'll be honest with you on this. I was kind of thinking about going to Jersey for a Rangers Devils game, but I think it's the day they're at the Prudential Center is the day that I think it's one of the days I'm working, so I really can't do it.
Didn't we do the preseason game last year at the Garden? Rangers
Yes,
Islanders?
we did. Yes, we did. Yeah, you guys can also see that footage. Big Apple Hockey at the Garden. Like, I would love to do that again, but I know the Rangers Islanders, that's coming up in, let's see, today is the 13th, 12 days away. I mean, we're getting closer to hockey, Anthony.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it.
Yes, we are.
Can't wait for it. So everybody, make sure you throw your comments down. You guys are doing a great job. There's always a lot of comments in here. So check out Manscaped and their family of products. They have you covered from head to toe, from the lawnmower to the weed whacker, because you don't want to look like a fuzzball. Go to manscaped.com, put in promo code BAH for Big Apple Hockey to get 20% off and free shipping. If you like that video, we got a lot more. So check out any of these that are right over here. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.